Hello again. So this is the same video. I was wrong about Gamergate. This guy says after 10 years. So Gamergate has to do with introduction of political correctness bullshit in games. And yeah, they're very interesting comments on this with this video. I was not into any of it. I didn't watch YouTube at that time. I think maybe in 2016, 17 or so, I started watching that. I did my analysis completely independently of everyone. And then I started watching YouTube, and I saw, oh, this guy sees this guy sees that, but they don't see the big picture. And it's very interesting. So my analysis is completely independent, and so I made a joke about Sinatra's song "I Did It My Way," and that it describes what I do. But it's really true in the sense that if you would listen to that song, that's exactly how I do everything. I do it my way, and I don't listen to others. I don't follow anyone. I don't like leaders. I will never also fall into the trap of a cult because I don't have fixed desires. I want certain things, but they're more like soft desires, and I will go into that later. So the difference between hard and soft desires, if you have hard desires, then you are susceptible to being manipulated by people saying you will get this or this from getting into this cult or from getting into this book club, which was one sort of cult that I mentioned before, which started with the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which I think is a stupid book. Not very different really from Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, although at the start of the book, Covey says something about it. A lot of these self-help books are really manipulative, and I'm pretty sure he mentioned Carnegie, meant Carnegie in particular because it's manipulative, but this book is barely any different really if you look at the essence, and the examples are also really similar, or at least some of them. It has to do with your personality, with your desires, and what political correctness is. It's essentially an antisocial cult. It wants people to split from other people who think differently. They want to enforce their views on others, which is antisocial. And it creates this the same idea as a cult, the echo chamber, which that's also the same. It's also the same as a cult. You see the same effects, which is why I don't just watch one view. I also watch occasionally the other side. Depends on the topic, but I don't think left and right are wrong. Are inherently, one is inherently better or more useful than the other. They're almost all not truth seekers. Okay, let's start with this. Then I'll go back to what he's saying, and the start of the comments. I was around 15 when Gamergate started off. The fellow who arguably lit fire under this movement was a gent called Internet Aristocrat. Sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know. Mr. Meitukor, I don't know. Let's see. It clearly began to veer away from journalism and ethics and became the first real battleground in the coming culture war. He deleted everything after a while, but videos are available under the Queen Conspiracy Theory, or the most essential ones. He mentions here the developed objective pure reporting without bias or sensationalism, but most people seek to confirm their own views. He mentions confirmation bias. But most people are still not truth seekers, even though they know these issues. There's been no glamour. He's dying now, blah, blah, blah. Now, the interesting part here. Jim was important, but he didn't start it. The ball was already rolling when he joined. Also, there were quite a few that got out with some shred of dignity intact. I don't know anything about this movement really. I've heard of it, but that's it. I'd say that most didn't go. the Warski Internet Blood Sports Roots. Warski. Vaguely familiar, that name. Take Sargon. I don't really like what he produces nowadays for the most part. I wouldn't say he lost his dignity. Sargon single-handedly destroyed, so that's Carl Benjamin, podcast of the Lotus Eaters, single-handedly destroyed the political party in the UK. Which party was that? I have no idea. And the political careers of those around him. Remember the "you're too ugly to grape" debacle? The guy's a clown. I have no idea. I have no idea about these comments. But it's interesting to know. I will keep this in mind. Now let's go back to start. I did the same thing, staunchly defending something I had no idea about, purely because people were using buzzwords that triggered me. Even when J.K.R. Rowling first started saying trans women aren't women, I joined the side that disagreed with her because I was told she's transphobic. It's only when someone asks me, well, what do you think a woman is? That's when I started thinking of myself, why? Why do you just accept things? I don't even accept things from family. Then I think, yeah, maybe, I don't know, I can't say anything about it because I don't know anything about it. Or then I see someone and I think, yeah, that's a psychopath or a really antisocial person. I don't believe that's a good guy at all. And it turns out in all those cases I was right with my views when I went against anyone whom I knew who told me something about this or that person. Then I see something and I don't like it, then I say no, can't be. And it almost always is correct. You can just know what people are like from a few sentences, usually even. You can tell more from talking, but and sometimes you need more. Depends on what the topic is and what they're saying, of course. And writing is different from talking. Each day you require different things or different amounts of information. It's not transphobic. I was being lied to. Yeah, but you could have used your brain. Now we'll get to that in a while. Up to us. Professor Warren Smith, professor who was fired for teaching critical thinking. Yeah, that's also wanted. I wanted to do that in school, as I mentioned. I wanted to teach proper analysis. That is it. Critical thinking, but proper analysis. But you looks at all the information you have, the methods, etc. I wanted to apply that to physics, but the school was absolutely not interested. They were only interested in what do you do if a student says something about you. And I thought, well, these people are nuts. I've discussed things on the internet. You can't imagine the abuse that you get there, and it didn't do anything to me. I think I told them, but they were not impressed. They think if you haven't taught in this classroom, then you can't deal with it. Yeah, bullshit. Let's see. Easiest way to learn critical thinking: pull the brakes as soon as you see something either agree with or disagree with, and ask, is this true? Yeah, but you can't do that with everything because then you'll never get anywhere. So you need to need a bit more. That's not everything. You can't research everything. Let's see. This is bullshitter. Now apply that logic to everything, Ukraine especially. That's probably someone who doesn't want money spent on the war. Whereas if you let Putin get what he wants, the cost later will be far higher and it will be a much more dangerous world. It's the same with everything. House renovations, for example, if you let wood decay, it'll become much more expensive to fix later. Okay, now to what he says.
Thought that I was defending women from right-wing gamers. And I've only kind of recently found out that a lot of the women I was defending weren't actually women. People like Brianna Wu.
Okay, I did have no idea who it is, or had no idea, so I looked still not really. So this.
Tell us how you were initially brought into the Gamergate fold.
Well, Gamergate is not a new thing. It's a phenomenon that's been going on for...
Yeah, that's a man. I know that immediately. I don't know what's wrong with him that you don't know this immediately or watch some video or something. But the voice is that of a man, the face is that of a man. And why don't people know this then? And I'd never seen, I think the first time I saw this was this. I put it on my page with the analysis. Let's see. Yeah, I made some videos pages recently. I'm still working on a few. So, Matt Walsh, what is a woman? I've analyzed this, and it's good to show the insanity that goes on, but it does not. It's not good to show reality. For example, here on 2 TV series, there was Monsieur Spade, and in episode 2 there's this woman, and I think, yeah, that's not a woman. Or Dispatches from Elsewhere. There it's even worse. It's really obvious. Well, the woman looks really like a woman, but sounds nothing like a woman. And then later, in the way he or she behaves, swears in particular, but also moves, I think, yeah, that's not a woman. That's not how a woman moves. Women are different in how they move, and how they think, how they talk. And of course, reproductive system is completely different, and that also affects your thinking, and your thinking is different, which does get affected by using testosterone. I've seen a documentary long ago about this, and it was interesting, but I don't know how well it becomes similar, but I don't think you can be completely similar to a real woman, because you haven't gone through everything that women have gone through. So I've gone through a lot of things that Walsh just doesn't deal with. To show you more of reality, trans influences and social. The one, Cyberdemon 531 on YouTube. This guy, I think the first time I've seen such a guy, and I thought, yeah, that's same as this one. Very similar face, way of talking, etc. Then I think, yeah, that's a dude. And I showed this to a relative, and said, yeah, that's a dude. And it's weird. I think the reason also why it stood out was the comments. I saw this guy was playing Doom or something, and some guy was making a critical comment with one of the videos. And he really went off on him, and I thought, yeah, a woman does not talk like that. A woman does not write like that. They're just different. But, so I was wrong. I would recommend watching this video, plus reading the comments. It's very interesting to understand how people, don't look at reality. I mean, you should know this already. And I think the first time I saw someone like that, I thought I immediately knew it. So why don't they? That's it for now. Bye.